Hello everybody, I'm Storm here, and welcome back to Transport Fever. In the last episode, we worked on extending the rail line that currently connects Midgard, Mali City, and Vice City to eventually connect to Dol Guldur. Not exactly a cheap stretch of rail. We weren't able to complete it because we're going to have to run a fairly sizable tunnel under some mountains in order to get through to Dol Guldur, and that's going to be very expensive. So, I'm going to hold off on that. Oh, I always forget to turn these off. There we go. But otherwise, we've been fairly profitable. I've gone ahead and ran time forward again. I think it was a couple of years. We now have 2.38 million in the bank. If we take a look at the history, ran through 1860 and 1861. We made over $1 million in 1861. And so far, we're just beginning 1862. Now, a couple of things I also did is I made some modifications road. Here's Mali City. I added bridges here. Ran a line here, and we can already see the city starting to grow on this side of the tracks. I ran a short road under here, and we already see that they're starting to build over there, which is good, because the AI that controls how the cities grow tend to not build across tracks or stations. So when you build like a track or a station through a city, it tends to block it off from growth unless you kind of manually put some roads in there and let the AI know, hey, you can build here. Same thing. Ran a road over here, though that's a pretty nasty bump. I'm not sure there's much I can do about that. But yeah, they should start growing over there. We may eventually run a line over the rail there. But yeah, cities are growing pretty well. So, what we're going to be doing first off here is I've decided that rather than, wait until we had enough money to burn on this tunnel over here, what we're going to want to do is go ahead and improve the existing rail services to be able to carry more passengers. And that'll increase our profitability, make us more money in the long run. Alright, so what I think we're going to do is we're going to add some extra wagons to the trains that are on this line here, the Sandoria Ori Midgar line. And then I'm actually going to upgrade the trains that are on the Midgar, Mali City, Vice City line to the faster Crampton engines and associated wagons so that these can get some more speed in there, because they're going to actually have the length of track to take advantage of the faster locomotives. At least that's my thinking anyway. So I could do this one of two ways. I could actually upgrade these just directly. Did I already set up a replacement? I already set up a replacement. But if we do this, it actually replaces the entire train. It'll be 1.5 million per vehicle to replace this. I have a better idea. What we're going to do, let's pause it here for a second. I'm going to tell you, one at a time, I'm going to tell you to return to depot. I know you have 24 passengers on there. We're going to deal with the fact that we're going to have to dump those passengers just out in the middle of the wilderness for now. Sorry, guys, but you can figure out how to get back home on your own. And this should be double slipped. Yes, it Is it double slipped? Yes, it is double slipped. Okay, so the train should be able to get off there. All right, where is the other train? It's right there. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna want that to go through a full cycle. I'm gonna speed things up here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna buy... I'm gonna buy one more Cracker Box car. And then we're gonna... No. Because these cabooses cost nothing, we can just remove it and replace it. Alright. And then now we're just gonna wait for... this train to get back. All right, go. Okay. And then I'm going to need to find a good spot. Well, basically, we need this one to get through its cycle and be coming back this way. And I don't think there's going to be any way for me to do this without passengers on board. There's always going to be passengers on board. Alright, and while we're actually waiting for this, let's go to this. No, not that line. It's going to be this line. I set up a replacement. It's going to have Crampton engines and 6 of the express passenger carriages. I'm going to tell them to replace. Go ahead and say yes. And they can replace in place. Because we're already replacing the entire train. Here, I just want to add wagons. It'll cost me some passengers in the short term, but in the long term, it'll improve things. Until we get just overall better trains. It'll work on this particular route. Alright. Let's see. There we go. Go to the depot. Good. We only kind of dumped 2 passengers. That bridge pillar is really close to the track. Alright. Alright, so you guys... add the Cracker Box car, and actually this is the way you want to do that. You want to move it down, and then you move it up. Well, we wait for the autosave, and then you move it up. Alright. So that train is ready. We just need to get to be the right point in the cycle. We need this train to head back and then be pulling into this station when we let it go. And then we'll go take a look at the new Crampton engine trains. Take a look at what they look like. And see if they get up to proper speed. Alright, there we go. I think this probably won't be enough. We may need to add a third train to this service. Because this is getting to be a pretty busy route. Alright, set line. Actually, I'm going to do it when it starts pulling away. There we go. Because these trains are only... They're only 10 years old, so they're not that old. They're not ready to be replaced yet, so... And these would cost about 2 million... Like, what, 1.7 million to add a new train? Alright, so... Let's take a look at the new... Let's just slow it down to normal speed. Alright, so here is the new Crampton engine locomotives. You can see they got that really big wheel there. And then we have these express passenger wagons that go with that particular train. And let's see, how fast is it going? It's going 63 at the moment. 65. 66. It should be able to get all the way up to 100. Oh, I think we actually did unlock, well, a new locomotive became available. It's a Finnish locomotive. Actually, I think it's a Finnish version of a Canadian-built locomotive. We can take a look at that in a moment. So it goes with the 72, 73 on that particular stretch. I think where we're really likely to get up to some decent speeds is going to be on this particular stretch of the track. All right, so what we got is this, the A1 class 440 Finn. It does 80 kilometers an hour. It has 521 horsepower, as opposed to the 440 Americans, which have 273 horsepower. So these have a lot more pulling power, but they are much more expensive, 900,000 to buy, and they cost 155,000 per year, as opposed to 425,000 and 70k a year in a run for not much speed. They just got extra pulling power. If we were doing freight services, these might be a good idea on a freight service, because you need an extra grunt to pull heavy freight, but we don't have any freight yet. We also got the Borsig. Borsig's a German company. Alright, this is a very cheap locomotive. It's very slow and very low power. Early Mogul 260 is another one, and the Express Passenger 440, which does 90 kph. I'm not entirely sure these work. But I never really use them, because the Crampton is just better. Right. It's got more horsepower. Sure, it's a little bit more expensive, but yeah, this does 326 horsepower, this is 313 horsepower, and it's faster. A lot of passengers waiting here at the I guess you really can't call it a bus depot, so we don't really have buses. Those are more like the coach station. Yeah, 56, 28 passengers waiting. Yeah, we kind of need another train on this line. How are things looking over here for 15 passengers waiting? Let's see. Yeah, this is now making over $1 million a year. I think we're probably going to want to put a third train on here. I'd like to push it to $2 million in the bank. Or we could start getting that tunnel built. That's going to take well over $4 million. Alright, let's see if we can buy this thing. Alright, buy one of those. Buy 1, 2, 3 of those. Plus the caboose. There we go. And add that. Let's see. I'm going to put it on the service as this guy is pulling into that station there. Do it. There we go. Alright, this is running forward until this guy pulls into that station. We only have 8 passengers waiting there. I'm making 1.38 million per year. That's one we probably really need another train on. Now, I could put a third. We'd demolish 2 buildings to do that. Okay, yeah, but there is room to put another terminal in there if I wanted to. At least right now there is anyway. You're doing 80, 81. Yep, you're already going faster than your previous trains. And then once we get the Dulgle door stretch going, then that's going to be another long run that the faster trains are going to be better for. So I think that on this particular line we're going to favor speed. Alright, so what I'm thinking is we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this passenger station hooked up. And then once we get that passenger station hooked up, we're going to start thinking about freight. And the easiest, simplest freight that we can do. There's a couple of options. One, we could do oil, which we have an oil well here. We have a refinery there. So we just need to get the oil from here to there and then deliver the fuel to the cities. And that could work. Or we have a forest up here. And we could deliver the logs from the forest to this sawmill. And then take planks from that sawmill and bring them all the way down here to this machine factory. Because you can use just planks to make tools. You can either use just planks or just steel to make tools. If we have planks and steel, we can make machines. If we have steel and plastics, we can also make machines. Well, right now we would just make tools out of just wood. And what I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to do, to some extent, is make a centralized kind of distribution center, a kind of hub, where we could bring, as we build like a hub station here, we could bring in the logs, deliver the logs. The logs will get turned into here, and then we can send it there, and then bring the tools back to here, and then distribute the tools from this location out to like these three cities. We could do like a truck line in the Midgar, and then we can do train lines into Ori and Sandoria. And then we could also potentially bring, like, hook an extension from here to the oil well to bring oil back to this point, and then send oil out to here, and then send fuel into the cities. Or even bring fuel back and then send fuel elsewhere. There's an option. There's options here. That's what I'm currently thinking at the moment. Anyway. But we really do need to get this extension going, and I'm going to go ahead and crank speed up. Alright, how is this guy looking? Well, we haven't finished 1863 yet. But profits are actually down, which is weird, considering we've added a lot more capacity there. Now we're getting some money in. Okay, there we go. I mean, adding the extra train and the extra wagons will increase our expenses, but we should get a proportional increase in overall passengers, which should offset everything and make us more total profit. At least, that's what I would think anyway. The Vice City tram still's not making any money. But and the Dol Guldur tram is still not making us any money. There's no one riding it. And the reason why there's no one riding it is because we don't really have a lot of service over here. We just have coaches coming in. Hopefully, once we actually have some trains coming through here, that'll improve service on the tram. Alright, we can start at least working through this. See, we could come out high up on the hill, but then we'll have to build a bridge to get down there. Which is why I was thinking we probably want to come out a little bit lower on the slope. See, that would probably be best. But that's 3.8 million. To get that done. Let's see, we made 393,000 last year. That's with all of the new vehicles we bought. We've already made that much in the first 3 months of this year. Alright, well, and that's just for one track. We have to bring the second track through anyway. Alright, if we're say we're going to lock the flat. Okay, lock the flat. I could build a piece of it. There's no way that I can get higher up this hill before we go into the tunnel. No. Yep, I don't think I have much choice but to just wait until I have the cash. And there isn't anything else that I could run. Well, nothing that would make money very quickly. Okay, this is starting to make more money. 62 at 108. Yeah, looks like we've reached our capacity limit here, at least for now. 3.13, 3.14 million. We need almost... We need probably closer to 4 million to even start building the tunnel. It's almost 1865. Let's see, how is growth going on over here? Alright, I haven't gotten a lot of growth down this particular stretch. Not a lot of passenger demand down here yet. This seems to be where we have the most people on that line. And that would be the same thing here, I'm guessing. No, no. Well, I mean, as long as it's making money, which it is. 3.79 million in the bank. All right. Build it. All right, there we go. CJN Mogul. Now, this is the line that this is going to be connecting to, right? Yes. Let's just get a look at what it would look like to just go ahead and straight up build it. 257,000. What if I... What if I did that? Build it. Okay. And which... Okay, so that was the inside of the curve. Alright, so we need to put in a line on the outside. Terrain, alignment, collision. Too much slope. Ew. Alright, let me back it up a little bit. Let me see if I can come out of here flat. For a little bit of distance. Right? And then come up to meet that. Yes. Now that looks a bit goofy, but we can fix it. Get out the smoothing tool. Smooth that terrain out a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now that we have a flat section, we should be able to get a fairly decent chunk of track there. Alright, so how much is it going to cost me to widen this tunnel. $1.87 million. All right. That shouldn't be too hard. Alright, well, let's cancel that for the time being. We can go ahead and do some signaling. And let's see. Let's signal just before the tunnel. Let's signal just after the tunnel. On the track that's currently built. And we'll signal... Oh, we've already got those signals. Okay, so... Let's see, we'll signal around here. And then we'll signal right around here. Now, what I could do is just connect it here, make this all one track for the time being, and then the trains will just have to deal with it until I can get the second track through. But no. We'll wait for the money to come in. And then we'll probably need to add another train to this route as well, because it's running full. Yeah, it's running full. All right, 1.33 million. 1.38 million. $1.87 is what we need. This is the thing with having a maxed out loan. There's not a lot we can do to get capital other than simply wait for the trains and the coaches to do their thing. 1.72, 1.5. Just had a big interest payment. We're also going to have a big interest payment at the end of the year. This is about to be 1866. And pretty much as soon as I can click that button, I'm going to click that button. And we're gonna drop again here in a... Oh, there's the autosave. Leh and Mahanoy consolidation. Ah, yes. That's actually a pretty good locomotive. I like to use it for freight. So, I want to get this done, and then we can start working on freight. It's going to be their next bit of business, I think. It seems like we can't quite break that mark. There we go. There we go. Finally. Whew. Okay, so What we now need to do is we need to go into the line editor, or line manager, go in here and say, alright, so we're doing Vice City to Melee City to Midgar, right? And then after Midgar, we're going to add in... Oh, no. Wait, no. Yes. I'm on the right line. Good. Add in Dol Guldur, and then add Midgar back in. And then hit Melee City, and then go back to Vice City. Okay. But here, we need to make sure that we split terminals so that you are going to be on Terminal 1. So that flows smoothly. There we go. So now this train, right here, should pick up passengers and then proceed on. And we'll follow in first person at high speed because we're already a bit long here. So I wanted to get this done this episode. So all right, so it's going to approach here. We're doing 92, 93, and we're heading to the tunnel. It's a big old long tunnel. And it looks like we are going to actually hit 100. And we're going to drop into the station. And there we go. And what does that do to the route frequency? Actually, we need to change this mid to GDG. Dol Guldur. Okay. Or DDG. Yeah. Yes. Frequency is now up to 8 minutes, which is not great. We can improve that if we can add another train to the line. But we'll see how it goes. But for now, I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to end the episode here. Made some progress. Got our trains upgraded. We got that stretch of the line finally added in. And I think we're going to start thinking about what our first freight lines are going to be next. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.